What's up, guys? Just got off a pretty sweet stream. Got several victories while we were playing. A lot of strange drops. The new season of Fortnite is definitely mixing things up, which is what I wanted to talk about because it just launched. So I figured I'd give my thoughts on some of the map updates, some of the UI updates, some of the progression updates, and just some comments about what I liked. There's a lot of what I did like. I can't really think of much I didn't like. I do kind of feel like they bitched out a little bit, not hitting tilted. That's only coming from the perception that tilted was ever being considered to be hit. Because for me, tilted is still like a pretty massive drop area, or at least will be. Like right now, a lot of people are dropping in the new area, Dusty Divot, and it's like mass chaos. Like the last match we just played, there were like 15 people left, and the fucking second circle hadn't even closed yet. So it's definitely causing more chaos. But the problem is with that is that the whole point of hitting tilted towers and sort of wiping it off the map was to sort of clog up the mid game. It was to send more people to more places earlier. That way the mid game wasn't as like boring and stagnant. The problem is now it feels like it's even become more stagnant in some ways. Because like today, for instance, you have your challenges for chests and haunted, kills and flush. And so between, Dusty Divot, Risky Reels a little bit, Haunted and Flush, that's like 85% of your fucking player base for like almost all the drops. Like it's crazy. So I'm curious to see kind of how it plays out once sort of the novelty of Dusty Divot wears off. But I do like what they did with Dusty. I did feel like kind of the right-hand side of the map needed some updating. And if you look, the right side of the map definitely has more differences than the left-hand side of the map. There's a lot more meteor strikes, and there's a lot more meteor strikes that hit certain places, right? So, for instance, my favorite drop location, Prison, now has a fucking hole in the middle of it, which killed 2 chest spawns, and it also has like a fucking like 18-wheeler like sticking out of the top of one of the things. And then, of course, I'd rotate into Moisty, and Moisty now has like a movie screen set up, like green screens and all kinds of stuff. And a lot of the sort of the way they're sort of hyping this up is that there seems to be shooting a movie on the island. Like there seems to be fucking, from the cinematic that happened at the beginning of season 4, which I thought was really, really cool. You have these meteors, they're coming through this theater. And then you see all around the island now, you see different fucking areas that have all sorts of movie equipment in them. Cameras randomly placed places, you have like trailers and stuff. But some of the stuff looks a little sort of scientific. And it looks a little bit kind of like they're researching something. And so my thought is that what I think would be pretty cool, don't know that they'll do it, but like instead of this kind of being like like some sort of like fake superheroes, like all this stuff is kind of like fake, they're all like actors, is that they're actually trying to film a movie, and that's sort of like the cover for all of this research that they're doing on the meteorites, and research on kind of what's going on, because like for instance, there's a mountain in between Snobby and Haunted that has a full fucking missile silo in it. Like all the way down, it's fucking several stories, chests, weapons, all kinds of stuff. And in there, you see a symbol. And what's interesting is that's on the left-hand side of the map. On the right-hand side of the map, there's that new mansion they built right below Lonely. And that has a different symbol plastered all over it. So it's almost like 2 different superheroes' sort of like calling cards are all over these 2 different new areas, except that I think it almost speaks to, obviously, I don't know that a superhero would live in a missile silo in a mountain. That seems more villainous to me, and sort of, splits the map between left and right. And if you look at the left-hand side of the map, not a whole lot changed. You have sort of a new movie studio outside of Junk Junction that looks like a fucking casting couch set. You have a couple of meteorites. You have the missile silo. You have really, I feel like that's it that I've seen. Not a lot different in Flush, not a lot different in Lucky, not a lot different in this new factory outside of Flush. It's mostly remained unchanged, which is good because the left-hand side of the map had a lot of content in it already. It had a lot of depth to the different areas, and the right-hand side definitely needed some updating. So that's why you see, and even if you look at the way that the impact looks, it looks like it kind of hit this way. It looks like, some meteorites would have fallen off the bigger piece, and that's why there's more destruction on the right-hand side of the map. And so you have the stuff at Moisty. You have Risky Reels, which is now up above Whaling, which is really cool because, we used to drop there a lot, and we go to the houses outside, hit Ice Cream Truck, and then move into like those fields, and those fields were kind of open. So I like that they sort of repurposed that. And now it's kind of it's going to be a more trafficked area, I think. You also have a couple of different like smaller areas that now have like instead of like barns, they have full-fledged houses, and there's different sort of structures in certain places. So overall, there's a lot like that you'll see that you'll recognize, but then a lot that's different. And I think they did a really good job mixing it up. I'm just really, really curious about how the mid game is going to go throughout the remainder of the season, because right now it's worse than it's ever been, really. So let's talk about progression and some changes that they made to UI. It finally says beta instead of closed beta on the intro now. Now when you select your game type, it's a whole new thing that pops up that shows you like a cool little picture with solos, duos, and squads. You also select your fill from that now instead of from the main menu. Main menu has a background, which I think is a nice touch. Just a little sort of something extra. There's different challenges now. So you have like your starter challenge, which used to be your tier 2 challenge. I like that that's called starter just to sort of get you started. You have your week 10 challenges, but now you also have this like challenge for a secret character that requires you to fully complete 7 weeks worth of challenges. You also have like these enhancements that you can make to the main skin that they give you, carbonite, something like that. But it's like the main, like the very first skin you get. Every time you rank up to a certain level, you unlock a new part of that, and then you can unlock like a pickaxe for him, which I think is pretty cool. I think that's doing new and different stuff. I still kind of would have wished that they maybe did 2 battle passes, and maybe still only did them 50 tiers apiece. But did a good versus evil, superheroes and supervillains, because the skins you actually get in the battle pass, except the very last one, they're not really like superheroes. And they're not even like really movie stars either. There's like the armed forces guy, like the fucking, and then there's the like a graffiti artist chick, and then there's like a sugar gum like bubble pop chick. So I thought that was kind of weird. I wasn't impressed with really any of the skins. Like the last skin, yeah, it looks cool or whatever, but like I don't really see myself using any of those. I'm using like the main skin right now just to see kind of how it progresses and how it evolves. I think that's pretty cool. But I'm not really super into any of those skins. I am super into the fact that Orange Shirt Kid won the dance contest. And and it's a free one. So as long as you get to tier 26, even if you don't have the battle pass, you can unlock that emote. And it's like the second I unlock that, that's all I'm doing because I'm like level 20 now. So let me see what else they have. I thought that progression stuff was pretty cool. Apparently there's like a hidden battle pass tier inside of a loading screen once you complete all the challenges for week 1. Like that's super cool. Like putting some more like meta stuff in there is like really interesting and like really draws the game out. Yeah, overall I'm really impressed with the map changes. I like the way that they're sort of shaking up the status quo right now. Like I said, I'm curious to see if it will continue to be such drudgery in the mid game. And then I like, most of the, like I said, I like most of the UI changes that they did. There's nothing that's really strange or seems out of place. And I also really like the concept behind sort of having extra stuff based on battle pass tiers and based on season level, and just sort of giving you, you know, more bars to complete, more things to progress in. Like I said, my one kind of main complaint is the battle pass stuff just doesn't really seem to do it for me personally. Even like emotes and stuff, I was like, I wanted best mates. Like I wanted that fucking dance, and the hype dance is like okay. And of course, like I said, Orange Shirt Kids dance is something I definitely want, but it's like the battle pass to me is kind of just, it's just progress, just to say that I completed it at this point. There's nothing really driving me. It doesn't really, you know, don't really necessarily care too much for it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on, you know, opening day of season 4. If you guys play and watch and have any thoughts, let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to discuss it with you guys. As always, if you liked the video, drop a like. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Would greatly appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow.